Okay, we're on air. This is DFW Perl Mongers. I'm Tommy Butler. To my left is John Fields, and we recently changed up our schedule so that instead of meeting on the second Wednesday of the month, we're now meeting on the second Monday, and that's kind of affected the attendance at our meetings. And so we wanted to put this out here so that folks who are watching our YouTube channel are aware that we've made the change. We made an announcement on Google Plus and Facebook on the mailing list. So please come on out on Monday nights, second Monday. Also, because we've got a month, we've got 1 month until our next meeting, I wanted to put forth the thought exercise or your homework for the month so that when we come together, we can talk about our ideas. And that usually starts with a problem. Now, I recall having a problem once before that John gave me. I'm not sure if you remember, but I could not figure it out. The problem was that I had a HTML table, and that's not necessarily part of the problem that we're talking about now, but I had pairs of things. I had a name and a value, a name and a value, a name and a value going downward. And then when it got to the bottom of the table, we restarted at the next column and went down that way. And it was put to me, quiet over there. I brought my kiddos. I'm gonna have to give them the mean eye. Okay, so what John came to me with is that, all right, sales doesn't like that. Sales wants us to move the table this way so that it's not named value, it's pivoted. And that was the thing. And I was like, you can't do that. You know, I was pulling data from a database. It was result sets, it was name value pairs, and it didn't make any sense to me why anybody would want to do that, but it doesn't matter because that's what sales wants, right? And so that was the thing. Do you remember this?
Not yet.
You don't? Well, maybe this will help you remember. I said, all right, and so I spent about 15 minutes thinking about it, and I said I can't do it. And you said that doesn't sound like the Tommy Butler I know.
Sounds like me.
And I was like, oh, right in the feels. And at that point, I knew I had to do it. I had to make that table pivot. I had to make it go the other way, so that instead of going numbers like number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, number 6, number 7, number 8, that it would go number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, number 6.
The columns needed to be rows, and the rows needed to be columns.
Right, and I needed to be able to, on demand, adjust it per preference so that the person could look at it either way. I needed to be able to rotate it either way. And I didn't do it with JavaScript, I did it with Perl. That's right, I did it in the Perl. So that's the challenge. We're going to have name value pairs. Make up your own. Name, Joe. Address, something simple. And make up your name value pairs, give them a number, and make sure that your numbers go this way, and then this way, maybe even that way, an extra column, so that they're overflowing and that they're going directionally up and down. And then figure out a way to make that pivot the other direction and go horizontally instead.
Say a 3x4 grid?
Sure.
I don't know if they can hear me. So.
Oh, John says 3x4 grid. That's the challenge. See if you can figure out a way to do it. I'm sure you can. And we'll compare ideas and efficiency of algorithms. I'm pretty sure that my algorithm wasn't the most efficient, but it made sense to me in my brain. And that was one of the things that I thought made Perl so great, is that I looked at the whiteboard in the office there with John, and I drew the problem out the way that I saw it in my mind. In my mind, I saw buckets that needed to be filled. Do you remember that? And I had to fill the buckets. That's the way that it made sense to me. That was the problem, the way that I saw the problem. And I had information that I needed to dump in the buckets. And so I went back to the Perl and I rewrote the loops so that it was filling the buckets in a different way. That was my approach to it. And I thought Perl is so great because it let me do what I wanted the way that I was thinking instead of having a single answer for the problem. So in the next meeting, let's talk about your answer to the problem. Signing off.